Get out already, they demanded, their voices cutting through the tense air of the house. Yeah, give us this house already, echoed the demand, leaving Kathy feeling like a stranger in her own home. I can't believe this is happening in my own house, Kathy thought, her heart heavy with disbelief. But if you really want this house, I'll give it to you. Just you wait and see, she resolved silently, steeling herself for what might come next. My name is Kathy Smith. I just turned 60 this year, she reminded herself, drawing on her inner strength. I got divorced when I was young. My ex-husband was a heavy drinker and he used to verbally and physically abuse me, Kathy reflected, her past pains still haunting her. When he started to raise his hand against our children, I served him with divorce papers, she recalled, the memories still vivid in her mind. After that, I single-handedly put our 2 children through college, Kathy continued, pride mingling with the pain of her past. Now, I continue to work in flower arrangements, a job I've always enjoyed, she stated, finding solace in her passion. Also, I've started online lessons a few years ago and have been enjoying the new interactions, Kathy added, a glimmer of excitement in her voice. My eldest son, Max, who has always lived at home, married a woman 2 years older than him, Kathy shared, her thoughts drifting to her family dynamics. I thought that they would move out, but they asked to live with me. Since there was no particular reason to refuse, I agreed to live together. The 3 of us, Kathy recounted, the weight of her decisions evident in her words. My eldest son's wife, Anna, was quiet and not good at housework. She started learning it from me, and I thought she was a good girl, Kathy reminisced, a tinge of disappointment coloring her memories. But now, her initial image is gone, and her true nature is fully exposed in front of me. She talks back and has a foul attitude. But in front of my son, she acts like a quiet and good wife, Kathy lamented, the betrayal of trust weighing heavily on her heart. The house where she learned she only does laundry for her clothes. The rest is left undone, Kathy observed, the reality of her situation sinking in. This is supposed to be the house where I've lived for many years, but somehow I'm treated like an intruder, Kathy confessed, her voice filled with resignation. Yet, I am somehow managing to live with these 2 who show no signs of leaving, Kathy acknowledged, her determination shining through the adversity. But little did I know that day would greatly change my life, Kathy reflected, a sense of foreboding creeping into her thoughts. That day, after finishing my online lesson and taking a break, the house was filled with Max's yelling, Kathy recalled, the tension rising with each memory. Hey old hag, we're out of shampoo. I can't wash my hair, she mimicked, the words stinging her ears even now. Despite being in the bathroom, his yelling reached all the way up to my room on the 2nd floor, Kathy remembered, the frustration evident in her tone. He is like this every day, so I'm used to being yelled at by him, Kathy sighed, resignation coloring her words. Not being very quick myself, I went to get the refill shampoo as quickly as I could, Kathy recounted, the routine of her days unfolding before her. Here, I'm sorry I didn't notice, she offered, her attempt at peace met with disdain. Too slow, it took too long after I called. Make sure to check time. I'll be careful next time, Max retorted, his words cutting deeper than any insult. Without saying anything, he snatched the refill shampoo from me, Kathy admitted, her hurt palpable in the memory. At that moment, I accidentally cut my palm a little deeper with the refill bag, Kathy confessed, the pain of her physical and emotional wounds intertwined. Complaining here would just add fuel to the fire, Kathy sighed, her resignation evident in her tone. Sighing, I took a bandage out of my first aid kit, Kathy continued, the routine of caring for herself a small comfort in the chaos. Then Anna called out to me, What, you got hurt? You're so clumsy, Kathy recounted, the sting of Anna's words still fresh in her mind. It's almost dinner time. Isn't the meal ready yet? I'm hungry, Anna demanded, her entitlement grating on Kathy's nerves. Oh, is it that time already? I'll start preparing right away, Kathy responded, her voice strained with the effort of maintaining composure. Would you mind helping out, Anna? Kathy asked, her hope for assistance met with resistance. Ha! Why do I have to cook too? I'm not helping, so hurry up and get it done, Anna retorted, her disdain evident in her tone. When she was about to go, Max got out of the shower, Kathy recalled, the tension between them escalating with each passing moment. He seemed to sense the tension between her and me and interjected, Kathy remembered, the fleeting hope of understanding dashed by his words. Anything happen? Don't tell me you were being nagged by the old hag, Max remarked, his indifference a sharp contrast to Kathy's pain. No, nothing like that. She just asked me to help her with dinner because she got hurt, Kathy explained, her attempts at reason falling on deaf ears. She started talking to him in a sugary voice, completely different from her previous attitude. Kathy noted, the facade of civility crumbling before her eyes. I recognized this routine and resigned myself to what was about to happen, Kathy admitted, the weight of her acceptance crushing her spirit. So she forced you to help. Hey hag, you know Anna can't cook, right? Max accused, his words like daggers aimed at Kathy's heart. Are you kidding me with this? I didn't force her, I just asked if she could help. When she declined, I was going to do it myself, Kathy protested, her voice shaking with frustration. As I was explaining myself, she quickly wrapped her arm around his and began to argue, Kathy recounted, the betrayal of her son's allegiance cutting her deeply. She told me she can't cook because she got hurt her hand. And the reason dinner was late was because she was sleeping, not working, Max defended, his loyalty to Anna blinding him to the truth. Enough. Whether you said it or not doesn't matter now. The fact that you tried to make Anna cook is true. It's your fault, hag, Max accused, his words a final blow to Kathy's hopes for reconciliation. With that, he stormed off to the living room, his back to me, Kathy remembered, the pain of rejection washing over her like a tidal wave. At that moment, she stuck out her tongue in satisfaction as if it was a victory, Kathy recalled, the bitterness of defeat staining her soul. And then followed him to the living room, Kathy concluded, her voice hollow with resignation. He always took her side and never showed any. I caught sight of Max and Anna sprawled on the couch, their casual demeanor interrupted by my presence. Anna, quick to compose herself, straightened up and smoothed her appearance, flashing a fake smile as she greeted our guests. Long time no see, Lily. You look more beautiful than ever, and Jake is handsome as always. Please sit down, she said, motioning for them to take a seat. Anna then gracefully excused herself from the couch and made her way to the kitchen. Once Lily and Jake settled in and started chatting with Max, I quietly followed Anna into the kitchen. There, Anna was busy preparing coffee for everyone except me. As I reached down to grab some snacks from a lower shelf, Anna's demeanor shifted. She leveled a thinly veiled threat at me, accusing me of not informing her about our guests' arrival. I didn't hear anything about them coming over. Are you messing with me? I did let you know, Anna. You just chose to ignore it, making excuses again. You better watch it with that, she warned, her hand poised threateningly. Just as I prepared to shield myself, Lily walked in. Concerned, she offered to help and inquired about the situation. Anna, caught off guard by Lily's presence, quickly retracted her hand and feigned innocence. For the first time, I was taken aback. As Anna was about to hit me, my daughter Lily moved closer to me, positioning herself protectively between us. I recounted, relief flooding over me at Lily's intervention. What on earth was that about? Surely, Anna, you were trying to hit my mother, were you? Lily questioned, her tone incredulous. Of course not. I would never do such a thing. I saw something about to fall from the shelf, and I thought it was dangerous, so I was just trying to help. Wasn't I, mother-in-law? Anna quickly interjected, her voice dripping with false concern. Yes, that's right. You saved me, Anna. Thank you. I'll take care of the rest of the preparations, so please, just relax, I replied, playing along with Anna's charade to diffuse the tension. With that, Anna returned to the living room, her smile unwavering, but her eyes betraying no warmth. Despite her reassurances, I couldn't shake the feeling of fear that gripped me. Lily, sensing my distress, offered words of comfort, assuring me of her protection while she was there. And in that moment, her words were a balm to my frayed nerves, soothing the tension from my body. I breathed a sigh of relief when Lily entered the kitchen, breaking the tense atmosphere. If she hadn't, I was certain Anna would have followed through on her threat. Thank you. I feel better now, I managed, mustering a weak smile. Lily, perceptive as ever, saw through my facade. I know you, Mom. You won't tell me even if I ask, but remember this, if you ever need help, don't hesitate to contact me. I'll be there for you anytime. Lily reassured me, her sincerity touching my heart. I nodded in agreement, grateful for her unwavering support. After that, the rest of the day passed peacefully. As night fell, Lily and Jake decided to head home after dinner. Anna offered to help prepare the meal, but Lily insisted she relax, perhaps having witnessed her earlier behavior. With Lily's assistance, dinner preparations went smoothly, and our conversation flowed freely in the kitchen. It was a pleasant change of pace, and for the first time in a while, I genuinely enjoyed myself. Once the meal was ready and we all sat down to eat, my eldest son praised Lily's cooking. "This is delicious, Lily. Your cooking is the best," he complimented. Despite my protests, he continued, comparing her cooking favorably to mine. Anna simply smiled and nodded, but Lily and Jake exchanged serious glances. The room fell silent until Lily addressed Max. "I think you're misunderstanding something, bro. Mom did all the seasoning," she explained. Max's expression darkened, feeling deceived. Anna's smile wavered, signaling trouble brewing. Just as tension threatened to escalate, Jake intervened, diffusing the situation with understanding. "I can totally understand. My mother-in-law's seasoning is similar to Lily's, so it can't be helped," he chimed in, easing the atmosphere. As we finished eating, Jake kept the conversation light with amusing anecdotes, restoring cheerfulness to the room. After Lily and Jake left and the cleanup was done, however, a dreadful incident unfolded. Max's demeanor shifted drastically as he hurled insults at me, reminiscent of my past with my ex-husband. Unlike his demeanor earlier, there was no restraint in his words. "Hey, you old hag, you really put me to shame today," he snapped. But I refused to be intimidated. "There's no such thing as shame, you know," I replied calmly, refusing to let his insults shake me. I learned that she had invited Lily and Jake over to get back at us. I overheard her and Lily talking. Anna chimed in, accusingly. "Anna, Lily, and I didn't talk about such a thing," I protested, but my words fell on deaf ears. "Shut up, you old hag." Anna wouldn't lie. "Enough with your acting," he snapped, kicking me suddenly. I tumbled to the floor, paralyzed with pain. But his assault didn't stop there. He approached me, kicking me repeatedly as I gasped for breath amid the agony. All the while, Anna watched with a giddy smile. "You're always useless, and it makes me sick," he yelled, his words barely registering in my hazy consciousness. Finally, he seemed satisfied and stopped kicking. Seeing my battered state, Anna burst into laughter, her cruelty piercing through me like a knife. Remembering the terrifying days of domestic violence with my ex-husband, tears flowed uncontrollably out of fear. But instead of compassion, their laughter only intensified. "What are you crying for? I don't want to see old ladies crying, you know, right, Anna?" he mocked, his words cutting deeper with each syllable. With a heavy heart, I realized I needed to leave this place as soon as possible, but my body wouldn't obey. "Pack your stuff quickly, old hag. Leave this house today," he demanded, his tone unforgiving. The realization hit me like a ton of bricks. This house, filled with memories I had gathered over the years, was under my name. I had never even considered leaving. "Understand? Pack your things within an hour and get out. This is our house from today. Move quickly unless you want to be kicked again," he threatened, his words leaving me no choice but to submit. In agony, I started packing, tears streaming down my face out of frustration, fear for the future, and anger towards them. It was the first time I harbored a deep-seated resentment towards them and vowed to fight back. Once I finished packing, they wasted no time in kicking me out, barely exchanging a word. As I stood on the sidewalk, pondering my next move, the thought of my daughter Lily surfaced in my mind. Hailing the cab, I grasped at straws and headed towards Lily's home. Upon arriving at her house, I noticed the lights were on, and I rang the doorbell. Through the intercom, I heard her voice. When she realized it was me, she quickly opened the door, her expression a mix of surprise and concern. It was only natural. Moments ago, her mother was unharmed, but now I bore bruises, visibly carrying the weight of my ordeal. Lily immediately called for Jake to help carry my baggage, supporting my body as they led me into the house. She assisted me in removing my jacket and gently guided me to the couch. Despite my less than ideal condition, she meticulously assessed the extent of my injuries. Jake fetched a blanket to ensure I stayed warm, his actions reflecting their unwavering care and concern. After evaluating my injuries, which included multiple fractures and a significant bruise on my head, Lily suggested a visit to the hospital for further examination. Initially hesitant, I declined, not wanting to inconvenience them further. However, they insisted, and upon arrival at the hospital, the examination revealed the severity of my injuries. Though fortunately, there were no issues with my head, I was advised to stay for observation. 3 days later, I was discharged and returned to Lily and Jake's home. I'm really sorry, both of you. I don't know how to apologize for causing you so much trouble, I express, overwhelmed with gratitude for their support. Don't worry about it. We're just glad it wasn't life-threatening, Lily reassured me. After we're settled in, can we ask what happened? Reluctant at first, I knew withholding the truth wouldn't suffice, especially considering the severity of my injuries. So, I recounted everything from the verbal abuse to the terrible treatment from Max and Anna since we began living together. Lily listened in silence, her husband also lending his ear from a distance. After I finished my story, I mustered the courage to make a request to the two of them. I hate to ask, but could I stay here for just a few days? I'll find an apartment that I can move into right away, so it's just until then, I begged tearfully. To my surprise, the response was unexpected. Mother-in-law, please don't make that face. While you were in the hospital, Anna and I discussed this. We thought we should live together. What do you think? Lily proposed, catching me off guard. Their suggestion of living together was something I never imagined. Overwhelmed with joy, tears streamed down my face. Thank you, I said repeatedly, expressing my gratitude. They comforted me until I stopped crying. Afterward, we decided to live together, the three of us. Lily and Jake made a proposal to give Max and Anna a taste of their own medicine for all the terrible things they had done. But is it okay to do something like that to your own brother? I questioned. Lily's response was resolute. I can't forgive those two. I believe they must not be forgiven. Seeing her determination, I agreed to the proposal, entrusting them to handle everything. Around the time the month changed, I received a call from Max. Hey, we had no idea there was still a mortgage on the house, and now we got a summons to court. What's going on? He demanded, his tone accusatory. I never said there was no mortgage. It's your house now. You should be the one to pay, I replied calmly. Max's response was heated. You gotta be kidding. We can't afford to pay that much. It's your house, you built it, so you should pay till the end, he argued. Refusing to accept responsibility, I stood my ground. It was you who kicked me out, so it's not my business, I retorted. Max's threat hung in the air as he abruptly ended the call. Trembling with fear, I realized the gravity of the situation, but believing Lily and Jake were on my side, I managed to calm myself. When I later informed Lily and Jake about the call, they seemed unsurprised. Mom, just ignore his calls from now on, Lily advised. Following her guidance, I obediently complied. Since then, I've been receiving calls almost every day from Max and Anna, but I steadfastly obey her advice. I continue to ignore the relentless calls. One day, they showed up at Lily's place. I was in the middle of an online lesson at the time and wasn't privy to the initial conversation. After my lesson, as I headed to the living room, I heard familiar voices. Peeking quietly, I saw Max and Anna pleading with Lily and Jake. Please just lend us a little bit of money, they begged. Lily responded sternly, how have you been handling your finances up until now? Weren't you contributing even a bit to your household? Well, we were paying our cell phone bills and insurance, but we never gave any money to my mother, Max admitted. Lily and Jake exchanged stunned looks and let out a sigh. So you're saying that Mom was covering all expenses, including utilities and food, and despite that, you treated her like a maid, verbally abused her, and eventually assaulted her and drove her out of her own house. We don't have a single cent to lend to people like you guys, Lily said firmly. What do you mean by verbal abuse and assault? Max hesitated, prompting Jake to step in. I agree with Lily. When we found mother-in-law, she was in a terrible state. She even had to be hospitalized. That's clearly a crime, Jake asserted. At this point, Max grew defensive and attempted to lunge at Lily. I was about to intervene, but Jake swiftly got in between them. Effortlessly restraining Max, Jake maintained control while Lily called the police. Shortly after, the police arrived and took Max and Anna away. Once they were gone, I rushed over to Lily and held her close. I'm glad you're okay. Really glad you didn't get hurt. Jake, thank you for protecting Lily. I expressed my gratitude. They both simply smiled in response, treating me kindly to put me at ease. Later, the evidence gathered by a detective and the lawyer Lily and Jake hired ensured we would receive a substantial amount of punitive damages from Max and Anna. It was then revealed that they had each been having affairs and were in a messy situation. Now, not only did they have financial issues, but they also had marital problems to face. Free from my abusive son and his wife, Once I regained my freedom, I started to heal, venturing outside again with a newfound sense of peace. Despite this, I still received occasional contact from Max, a clear violation of the court-ordered no-contact rule between us. Each time this happened, I promptly contacted my lawyer, who handled it with strict adherence to the law. One day, while at the supermarket, I bumped into our old next-door neighbor, who shared some interesting news. Apparently, Max and Anna were constantly embroiled in arguments about money and infidelity. Anna's true nature had finally come to light, acting as the catalyst for their impending divorce. As a result, they had decided to put their house up for sale. Meanwhile, my private investigator unearthed some revealing findings about Max's downward spiral. His involvement in police matters, lawsuits, and now his divorce had become the talk of his office. His inflated ego led to him quitting his job immediately, and he was dumped by his affair partner. Now, he works part-time and is homeless, spending his nights in parks and abandoned buildings. As for Anna, she had been staying with the man she was having an affair with, but she too was recently dumped. Now, she's seeking work in live-in jobs, attempting to rebuild her life from scratch. Her once beloved hobbies such as nail art and other fashionable activities have been abandoned, and she's now living a humble existence. Meanwhile, I decided to buy back our old house, which had been put up for sale. After some renovations, I now live there with my daughter Lily and her husband Jack. Lily, with her qualifications in aromatherapy and massage, suggested opening a small shop on the spare land we had. We've been managing well, offering physical lessons in the shop, selling items, and running a reservation-based aromatherapy massage service. Returning to our own home brings happiness every day. I am grateful to Lily and Jack, who took care of all the complex issues like private investigators and lawyers, which I found hard to handle. Their support has enabled us to achieve our current lifestyle. I have a wonderful relationship with Lily and Jack, and recently, I received the delightful news that Lily is pregnant. I can't wait to hold my grandchild in my arms. Looking ahead, my life will only become more joyful, and I consider myself very fortunate. I cannot thank them enough. I am truly grateful.